Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jimmy, and today I'm going to be doing it's kind of like a tutorial on how to make something similar to my Pokemon, LPs, the backgrounds that I put on them and all that stuff. So the way I do this is I go to Photoshop, I open up Photoshop, and inside of Photoshop I go to New, and I preset these, so it has to be 720 quality because 720, at least 720 for the video. If you're going to do a 1080p video, then you're gonna go like this. But for the sake of this video, it'll be this. And all that resolution is like if I put resolution at 300. It would just make the pixel ratios much higher, so it would be a much more HD image. But it also makes the file size much bigger. So I usually go with 72, and that's usually like basic. So then I click OK, and that should load up probably in a couple of seconds. But the image that I use for my Pokemon, I made it all on Photoshop, so there's nothing else that I did with it. There was nothing else. So this would be what you do next. So if you have a camera like I do, you would go into Open, and you would find a 720 image, or you'd find the actual video that you're going to use in this little thing, or whatever you can find that is 720p. That is a 720p image. So usually an image, just a flat out image would be much better than like a full video, because the videos take a little bit longer to what the hell is that? So the video of like a full video would take a little longer. So you would open up a 720 image like this. I know this is a 720 image, so I made it a long time ago when YouTube was much different. That's me down there, at least what I tried to be. Anyway, so what you would do is you would click the buttons on your keyboard, Control A, and that would select all. And you can see like the dotted lines. That means you're selecting that area. You can also then you go and click Control C, and that would copy that entire image. And you'd go over here and you Control V would paste the image. And I just happen to have this one at a higher resolution, so it's a little bigger. So you'd click to make it smaller if it needs to be smaller, or whatever the case. If you want to make something smaller, Control T will, I know my computer's running slowly, you don't have to tell me that. Control T will get you there, and by holding Shift, it should make this a little bit smaller. My computer's running a bit slow, so here we go. Shift will help with that. There we are, and my computer's just going to be running really slow for this entire time. So that is that. So this would be your camera or your 720 image. Yeah, okay, go to frickin' basics. There it is. That's what we need. Anyway, so this is your camera footage if you have a camera or whatever you're going to use. So what I did for Pokemon is I put it up here in the corner, and Enter will get you off of the resizing process. So from there, you picked out I'll just use the background that I actually used in my gameplay, if I can find it real quick. Alright, let's see this. There we go. And I'm very disorganized right now. So this is the image that I used for the Pokemon LP, and Dark Tree, because it's Reborn, Pokemon Reborn. So I just clicked Control A and Control C, and then you're going to paste it in here, and it'll be a full quality picture. So now the next part is, I'm just saying this for basics purposes, so you go over here to your layers palette, and you would have to drag this one underneath the other one for your camera, because you want the camera to be seen over top of this background picture. So there we go, that is that. And then for example, if you had another 720p picture or another 720p what would it be, like the actual gameplay footage or something, if it's 720p and you know that it's 720p, you can come over here and just I guess copy that layer, and you can come over here, drag it out, Control T, and you can shift click and make that a little bigger. So now this is it, and so this would be your video itself, the actual game, and you can make it any size you want. Just you know get that in there, and then you can Control T this, make this a little bit smaller so that they're not touching each other. There we go. And the rest of this on how I made the badges and the little area where the Pokemon are is basically these shapes here. And you can make a shape by just going over here, clicking this, and I guess whatever you want, you can pick anything from there. I'll pick that one, the round, and you can just drag it out, and there you go. You got, this would be like in my Pokemon gameplay, this would be the area where the Pokemon are, my Pokemon are actually at. And you can go up to here in the toolbar, or the menu bar, or whatever it's called, and you can click on this fill thing. Will fill any color the inside of that. So I mean I was using a purplish color because it's supposed to be kind of dark and brooding, because I guess the game is pretty scary or whatever. So there's that, and then you can also go in here to your stroke, and maybe I'll make it freaking yellow because I feel like it, and I'll make this like 10 pixels wide just because I feel like it. And all that stuff you can rotate it, and maybe if you don't like the size, you can Control T and hold Shift and click. There we go, and now it's a better size. And you can play around with this stuff, so you can go in here and you can go into this one. This piece here is the gradients side, so you can go in here and pick out a gradient, or you can go and create your own gradient. Maybe I want a nice red instead of that black. And you can play around, you can drag these out, you can move this, and it'll change when the gradient actually happens. You can make another white, and you can make any amount of colors that you want. I can make this black again, so then the bottom's black, and see, you can mess around with that to your heart's content. So the next part here is the way that I split them up. So I split them up by using this here, the line tool, and I basically just eyeballed it and held Shift to make sure that it was straight, and then boom, just threw that in there, went up to the top up here, and made sure that my height, just for this, because the height is the x-axis and the y-axis, and I'm sure you can figure it out. Anyway, you go up into here, up into height, and I made it, I think it was 8 actually. So you get a pretty solid line there, and you can do it again. Just remember to hold Shift and because it'll make sure that it's very straight. Go up there, 8, and then boom. So now you got all that stuff. It's a little off actually, but it's whatever. You got that stuff, and say you wanted 2 Pokemon there, so you would go back to Line Tool, and you would click, hold Shift, and then there you go. Split it again. And this time, instead of going to your height, you would go to your width because, freaking math. So there you go. Now that would split up everything, and I'm just doing this quickly for you guys to see, so it's whatever. And so after that, you have all these layers. So now we have this layer, which is the color and the whole outer rim, and we have all of these ones, which are the lines. So if you want to clean something up, or if you're completely satisfied, you say to yourself, okay, that right there looks absolutely perfect. I don't need to change anything else. You can go over here, you can hold down Shift, and then you can click to select all the layers that you want to combine, which actually we should probably do this. And then we go over here, we right click, and then it would be the merge shapes icon or whatever, task, or whatever it's called. And I guess that puts them together. oh, merging shapes, would you, okay. So you wouldn't click merging shapes, you would click, you would merge those shapes. And then, let's see this, it's the same thing, just shift clicking and stuff like that, so, that's weird. Okay, then, I guess don't combine those two. Or you can actually, this is probably what I did, you can go over here, you can right click on the layers, you can click here for rasterize layer, and that will basically just turn off all the settings that it had for the shape, and just make it fully just a layer, as if you took the pencil tool and you just drew that line. Which you can also do if you want to. You can take the pencil tool, which is over here, or the pencil tool or the brush tool or whatever, and I believe if you just hold shift it'll make a line. Yep, see that? And so you can do that too if you would like, but then you have to just rasterize these layers if you want to clean them up, and you can say merge down. So there you go. Now I have this just one layer of all of that whole sheet, and I have one layer for all of those things. And basically, for the badges, for just that my Pokemon gameplay that I keep referring to, for the badges, I just did the same thing over here, just threw that up, and then messed around with this, so, you know, whatever. I did a gradient, and I think it was, it actually doesn't matter. So I did a gradient, and then I come over here, and I'll pick yellow again, just to keep it the same, and maybe we'll do like 20 instead of 10. So now it's really big, really thick line. And after that, I have all my settings. So I have my badges, my Pokemon, excuse me, and I have my gameplay, and I have my video footage. Everything is in line. And now the problem is, because when you're putting this video out, you're going to say to yourself, okay, do I have to overlay my video on top of that? Well, not exactly. This is what you would do. You would come over to your layers. Let's start off with the camera layer. So this is where your camera is going to be, or if you have a camera. It doesn't really, you don't have to have a camera. I'm not, just whatever. Anyway, you would come over to the layer itself, the thumbnail for the layer, which is that little image. You would click Control, and then you would click on it, and that, if you see this, the dotted lines, that selects only the area that layer is in. So that's only that. Now, what we're gonna do, excuse me, my nose is a little itchy. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go down to this layer, which is the full background layer. We're gonna do that, and we're going to just click delete. So now we've deleted that portion in the background. Now we're gonna go back up to this layer, and then we're just gonna click delete again, or you can take this entire layer and just get rid of the layer. And so now you have that little white space there. And I'm going to fix that white space in a moment. So we're going to just do that again for this layer. We're going to select there. I'm going to delete everything in that area, and then I'll show you here. If you click on the background layer and you just click delete again, it just deletes it. No problem. If you want to get rid of the dotted line that selects, you just click Control D, which is D stands for deselect. So there you go. Now, the next thing is saving. And when you save this file, you want to have it dotted, you want to have like a portion of like the white spots. You want the white spots to be not dotted, I think it's checkered, like a checkerboard. And that checkerboard means that there's nothing there. So the image doesn't show that, and it won't be white, it'll just be nothing. So what you would do is you would come over to the background layer, the real background layer, and it's got the little lock on it, which will show you that that's the background layer. So then what you're going to do is you're going to click this little eye. It says it right there. It gets rid of the actual layer, so you can't see it anymore. It's still there, you just can't see it anymore. So now this chalkboard is basically chalkboard. This is where your video is going to go. And if you were to save this, save as, and we're just going to save it onto the desktop for now. I'm just going to save it as tutorial. I freaking spelled that wrong. Tutorial. And there you go. And you're going to save it as a PSD, which is a Photoshop file. You can change it if you're doing something else with this. You can change it to all of these formats. I believe TIFF is the best resolution format, but that's not what we're going for right now. What we're going for right now is Photoshop, so you want it to be a Photoshop icon. And and then we're going to just save it onto the desktop. So OK for maximum quality or whatever that says. Now the next portion here, we're going to minimize that, or actually I could probably just X out of it, doesn't really matter. Probably just X out of that. Now we have this file. So we have our tutorial file right there. And this is going to be different for all you guys because I don't know what editing software you're using. But I'm going to use Sony Vegas Pro 12. So this is my Sony Vegas, and what's going to happen here is we're going to go in here and we're going to import that file. Wow, I just messed up my hair really bad. We're going to import that file just as itself, as an image, and then we're going to overlay it on top of the video that we're going to put into the software. So, wait for it to load for 1 second because my computer's a bit slow. Apologize for that. And okay, so now this is my last video. So what we're going to do is just click over here to new. I don't know if you guys have Vegas or you might not even have Photoshop, but you can use Paint for it, I believe. But I don't know if you can get the checkerboard thing to happen. Even if you have Paint, you can go in there and do the same thing. And the only thing is that white area, you would just keep it white and you would not do anything with it. You just keep it white and leave it there. And then when you import it, which is what we're about to do, let me just find the file. Where are you? Oh, there it is. Okay, so there it is. I'm just going to click enter or whatever. I'll just try it because I'm lazy. There we go. So now we have this layer, which is the video layer itself, and those black spots are where the other videos are going to go. So let's just quickly grab. I'll grab my episode 1 of this. So this is me speaking, and yeah, okay, we can make it 720p. We're just going to split that with S, delete that because we don't need all that. I just want to show you guys an example. I don't want to freaking make an entire episode out of this. So this is it, and you see how you can only see my face, my beautiful face, through those holes. Well, if you go over here, which is only in Sony Vegas, I don't know if you guys actually have Sony Vegas or not, but you can click on this little thing here and it'll bring up the cropping, which I'm sure most softwares except for freaking Movie Maker has all of this. And you just go over here with that and you just put it in there. Not really worried about it fitting exactly, but there you go. That would be that. And if you go through it, that's it right there. So that's me in the corner there, and then I'm just going to use the same video because it's convenient. But you would put this video underneath that. Click S and delete to get rid of that, and you would just put that one underneath it so that it's not. I hope you can hear me clicking. Just go over here, make this a little smaller. Go. So now we have this, and it's another one. I'm just gonna crop this into the smaller. Look at my face, it's awesome. We're just gonna crop this into the bigger one, which would normally be your gameplay area. So like instead of my face, you would obviously see your gameplay, and you just throw that in there, and there you go. Yeah, so that's about it, and you can see both my face will move simultaneously because it's the same freaking video, but there you go. That would be that, and then you would, in Sony Vegas at least, you would save it, and then you would render and all of that. I'm hoping that you guys know all about this. You could just go up here and you have to figure out where your 720p is. You would go over here and then you just render, which I'm not going to render because that would destroy my laptop and it would just, my whole thing would be on fire. But anyway, that is that. And what was the next thing that I was going to say? If you're going to, let's go back into Photoshop real quick. If you want it to be a little bit more precise, or I don't really know what you would call it, but there's something that I used in my videos instead of just leaving it kind of blank in a way, is I did this. Let's just go here, click new, go like that, and then okay, we're just gonna make a quick little square, so that could be whatever. And then I'll just for this purposes, like viewing purposes, we're gonna make that 10. So you can see this yellow box, and maybe that yellow box isn't really good enough. So it's not pronounced enough. What we can do is we can double click on the layer itself, and we can go into this here called stroke, and with that, if this would just come over here for a second, with that you can change your size and it would just become a little bit darker, and you make a huge line around it. So in my gameplay particularly, I use that around the game boxes, so as to make it a little bit easier to see. I'll show you. Just gotta figure out which freaking one I used, but I made a stroke around it so that it was a little bit easier to see. I guess I'm gonna have to just click on it. I'll just use episode 1, and I guess you're gonna get some spoilers with that. So anyway, besides the spoilers that I'm about to give out about my starter Pokemon, you can go in here and I'll show you. I use the lines to the stroke just to make it a little bit more pronounced, and that you can see it. So this is it. I also put those words in there, and the whole thing about the words basically is just all you got to do is go over here to the T, and then you would just click, and then it would I guess I'm using a huge font for some reason, so you would say tutorial or whatever you would want to say. Just zoom out with Control minus, and you would zoom in with Control plus, by the way. So there you go. That's the word, the tutorial, and then you would take it and say it's too big. All right, so it's too big. Tutorial. You're gonna go up here, and we're just gonna click. Let's just do that real quick. So there we go. Now, the problem that I can see most people having with this is that what do you do with this? How do you get your freaking previous and your next to be in that little corner like that? So what you would do is you could rasterize the layer. You could just leave it the way it is. You could leave it that way and just keep it like that so you can use it. You would double click on it, click the stroke, and then let me just look and see. So that's pretty good. I mean, the stroke isn't that bad. We'll just turn it up to like there. That's good. So you click OK. And then, alright, so we're satisfied with this now. We just need to turn it. So the next thing we do, Control T, it's like resizing or whatever. And you see right over here, right over here, the little arrows change from the, scaling. And then they change over here to what kind of looks like two arrows like that. They're kind of split. And if you click that and you drag around, it will drag your text upright. And so, just to make sure that it's straight, you hold down Shift, and then you let go. There you go. Click Enter because you're satisfied with it, and there you go. That's an upside down text, and you can still write on it too. If you like, say I spelled tutorial wrong and I wanted that to be like capital T or something, I can still write on it. So that is that. I'm just going to exit this because I don't want that to be saved, and that's about it. Oh, actually, you know what? I could probably teach you one more thing. Let me just get rid of that entire file, or entire layer, because I don't really want it. So, let's say my Mudkip, where's my Mudkip layer? Let me just find my Mudkip layer. No, that's not it. Mudkip, okay, it's beside me. Nope, this is it, right there. I was already on it the whole time. So, let's say Mudkip is discolored for some reason and I don't like it, which is what I did to the back of that tree behind this whole scene. I went up to Image, Adjustments, and then I went into, you can go into the brightness, contrast, levels. You can go into all of these things. Hue and saturation is more color affiliated than like all the other stuff. So let's say I want my Mudkip to be, let's see, green. Let's see a green Mudkip. Come on, Mudkip, become green. Why aren't you doing this, Mudkip? You're making me sad. You're making me sad, Mudkip. Anyway, okay, we changed color. Anyway, you can change colors and stuff by going like this. I don't know why it's not changing color. Oh, there you go. That's a green Mudkip for you. I just had to move it a little bit further. We have a green Mudkip with purple things, or whatever those things are. So that's how you do that, and you just click OK. I'm going to click cancel because I don't want it to be that color. And anyway, Control 0 will bring you to a size that you can just look at. And that's about it. That's the badges and the outer lines here. I'll show you this. You can see that I actually used, well, I used a lot for that. Anyway, you can see how the lines actually go around each other like that, and the stroke, as it is, goes around itself. And you can also see that my background is turned off. If I turn it back on, it becomes white. And that's about it. I hope you guys liked this video, or I hope it helped you or something. I hope Mudkip is cute enough for it to be in this video, and good luck trying to make your own stuff. I mean, there's not really much else I can say. The way I did these colors, if you're wondering, like how it looks kind of like bendy, that's just shading, like shadowing with the the gradient tool. So it's not like anything that I didn't, like if you go over here to the fill, you click gradient, and then you just, if you put it like this and you just keep going and making a bunch of these things, and then you make this one, we'll make this one black, and then you can already see it's coming together quite nicely actually. You can go over here, and there you go. So then you can have, each line can be a little bit different, and it can have a little bit of a curvature on it. So that's about it. And yeah, I'm just gonna, oh, it stopped working. Okay then, I guess we'll just close. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next episode or tutorial or whatever that I make. If you want to watch my Pokemon LPs, I'll have a link somewhere, probably on the top of my face, just because, or in the description, something like that. If you want to watch those, they're pretty good. I thumb them up as well. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and before I go, I just want to give a quick shout out to my friends over at Dual Prospectors, or Prospectors, I think that's how you pronounce it. They're two of my friends. They do their own little gameplays. It doesn't seem like they're, oh, that one had 12. They're doing pretty well. Anyway, they subscribe to me, so I just wanted to give them a quick shout out, and I'm going to be subscribing to a bunch of people in a coming up video, I guess, something like that. Anyway, give them a shout out, go subscribe to them, go see what they're up to. Dual Prospectors right there. We might be doing gameplays together or something, I don't know. Anyway, shout out to them. Go see them, go check them out, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Thanks for watching.